Hello everyone, a very good morning, good afternoon and good evening to all of you. This is your host Vaibhav. In today's session of correlation and regression, we will be taking a look on the price dynamic for the forex market, and along with that we will be also considering the developments going into the start of the North American trading session, particularly the equity segment, to see if there are any emerging opportunities which we can indeed exploit in a profitable manner while considering the correlation between various instruments of the same class. We will be comparing apples to apples and oranges to oranges. So let us now head to the JForex for the newly released trading platform from the Dukascopy Bank SA. First, we will be taking a look on the forex side, and afterwards we will consider the equity segment. Now this is the chart of the Euro USD drawn on the 5-minute candlestick time frame. I have added this SMA of 24 calculation period, and 24 multiplied by 5 minutes each stands at 120 minutes, that is 2 hours moving average price, and this one SMA 12 is for figuring out the 1 hour moving average price. This range has been defined for Gaussian channel 24, that is for 2 hours, and this lower one is for 4 hours. So we are looking at the range, immediate range, and the immediate average price to see if we can figure out the strength and weaknesses of these various financial instrument, and then whatever is the instrument, whichever is the instrument which is offering the best chance for for making the profitable trade, we will go for it. Now if we consider the Euro USD's price momentum so far in the day, earlier in the day it was moving sideways, and even now the things haven't really changed much. For today's session, the range stands at around I think 60, yeah, roughly around 60 70 pips, and it went on to make this day's high. Not far back, just an hour back, it made this day's high. So we have the momentum, the immediate momentum on the bullish side. It is making higher highs and higher lows. If we look at its charting for last couple of days, after going sideways in the second half of last week, it has picked up the momentum, and even after the yesterday, not yesterday, the Friday's non-farm payroll data release, where we saw the sharp move on the lower side. Then all those losses were reversed in the course of couple of hours, and now we have here the formation of a fresh swing high. So keeping all this in mind, I think the momentum is in the favor of bullish trade, the buy trade in most of the major currencies against the dollar. The dollar has continued to trade on the back foot for last couple of trading sessions. So today is also no exception. We will have to go with the flow and see what are the chances which we can take to look for the trades. Now, if we have to go for the trade in the Euro USD, as I said, it needs to be on the buy side for maximizing our probability of being on the right side. Of course, you can always go with the trade against the trend also, but it is better to be on the side of the trend. And then the question arises if the euro is the best bet against the dollar, or if we should be looking at other major currencies which are also trading in a bullish manner against the dollar, as we have dollar on the back foot. So for that, we have to then do a relative analysis of these major currencies using the timeline and also the average prices over this given period of time. So here, going back in day, we saw the swing low formed at 1235 for the Euro USD, and afterward it turned the corner and has gone on to rise almost 70 pips from there on. Now it is showing some correction, but as long as it holds well above this immediate swing low, I think it will be a better idea to keep looking for the buying opportunity. But of course, we have to keep this immediate swing low of 1.052 in mind, and then we have to take the trade if this level doesn't really give way and it continues to provide support in coming hours also. So let's consider the price action data of other major currencies. Let's start with the AUD. So we will go on to compare these major currencies like AUD USD, GBP USD, NZD USD, USD CAD, USD CHF, USD JPY to see which one is the best bet for a trade to be taken on either side. First, we will be looking for the bullish trade, and then we will also see if there are any emerging opportunities on the bearish side. So, if we consider the price pattern of the AUD USD, it is not looking as strong as was the case with the Euro USD. Rather, if we go back earlier in the day, it made this swing high at 0.6851, but afterwards it has gone in decline and now it is inching back on the lower side, and it has also made a fresh swing low. So that is something interesting phenomena here, and seems to be diverging from the Euro USD price action. So keeping that in mind, I think we will have to limit our buying preference for the Euro USD. As of now, the AUD USD is not holding well, and in any case, it is lagging behind in its upward momentum in today's session compared to the Euro USD. So even if the things are not that much bearish on this chart, looking at last couple of 4 days of price action, I think it is more of a sideways movement. It is not really going anywhere. It has continued to trade within this range of around 100 pips. So today is also no different, and maybe tomorrow, if we see it holding well above this immediate swing low, then we can think about going for a new trade. But as of now, as things stand today, it is better to avoid any kind of long entry in the AUD USD, looking at its current price dynamic, where it is lagging in the in this upward momentum if compared to the Euro USD. So Euro has to be given the first preference, and if we get the confirmation of dollars starting to gain strength and other currencies starting to reverse the momentum, in that case, I think AUD USD is as of now in lead. First, we will compare all these currencies, and then we'll be able to figure out which one is having the best momentum on the bullish side and which one is having the best momentum on the bearish side. So for GBP USD, it is looking like middle of the pack currency. It is not showing that strong momentum on either side. As of now, it is holding on to the prior gains, but it has declined more in terms of the magnitude compared to the Euro USD. So that is something to be kept in mind as well. Here, the correction for the Euro USD is rather shallow and it is not far off from the day's high also. So both these factors are giving the primacy for the buy trade on the bullish side for the Euro USD. Okay, so it seems to be lagging the Euro USD on the upper side, and it is of course also lagging in the bearish momentum to the AUD USD. So this is somewhere in the middle. Let's consider the case of NZD USD. NZD USD is following suit the AUD USD on the lower side. So this is the second most bearish currency as of now for all the currencies which we have seen in this session so far. Coming to the USD CAD, the CAD is also showing the weakness against the dollar. The USD CAD is gaining ground. USD has gained almost 50 pips after this immediate swing low from just half an hour back. So that is something to be kept in mind moving forward. Now coming to the AUD USD charting, it is leading in comparison to the most other currencies, and it is having a stronger bearish momentum. Coming to the USD CHF, USD CHF is also more in line with the currencies like AUD USD, USD CAD, and NZD-USD, it is rather weaker. The CHF is rather in a weaker position, but it is not strongly weak. If we look at its price formation, it has traded in a narrow range. It made this low at 0.9331, and after that it went into this corrective phase, and now again it is seemingly charting the second leg higher. So this is also a trade in which you can bet on the side of the dollar, not against the dollar. It is better to keep looking for the buy trade. But one thing we have to keep in mind that here this might also be a case of things going sideways, as we don't really have any strong momentum on either side. So we will have to trade cautiously, and maybe it is better idea to continue to look for the opportunities to buy, but closer to these immediate swing lows, not at the current price. For USD JPY, things are looking much more bullish compared to all other currencies. It seems to be leading even the AUD USD, which is also having a stronger bearish incline. So now we have got a clear winner. We have a clear winner in the bullish tendency and also on the bearish tendency while trading against the dollar. We have JPY, which is the weakest of the lot in this session, moving into the North American trading session. So for any trade to be taken on the side of the dollar, if you are expecting the strength in the dollar to continue, then I think USD JPY is going to be a natural choice, as it is leading in its bullish trajectory. So far, it has continued to gain ground after making this low at 134.1, pardon me, 139, and then from those lows, it has gained a significant ground, almost 100 pips on the upper side. Even now, it is continuing to move quite strongly. So we have this USD JPY, which is having the best bullish momentum. And if we expect the dollar to continue to weaken, then in that scenario, there is this Euro USD, which is still holding well, quite well against the dollar, and continue to trade with this formation of the higher highs and higher lows. Turning our attention to the equity segment now. On the equity side, let's consider the larger time frame chart first. On the equity side, we have similar kind of price formation. There is not much of a difference. For last couple of days, the equities have gone sideways after Mr. Powell's statement regarding the change in pace of monetary policy tightening. We had seen significant gains for most of the equity indices, and Dow Jones has been able to hold on to most of those gains. It has simply gone sideways. It is trading in a very narrow range after the strong non-farm payroll report. We did saw the Dow Jones Industrial Average moving lower, but then it reversed course and erased all those losses. So now in today's session, it is still, I think, preferable to keep looking for the buying opportunities. And if we see the Dow Jones holding closer to the current levels of around 34,100 for next couple of hours, and if we don't really see it breaking below on the lower side below 34,000, then I think in that scenario it is still a trade to be taken on the long side. A buy trade is still a preference compared to the bearish trade, as we have this price range of around 700 points, and unless and until there is now fresh break below this 33,900, I think it is better to continue to look for the buy trade. So for today, in today's session, if you want to take any trade, then allow it at least couple of hours going ahead, and if you don't see the Dow Jones Industrial Average breaking below 34,000, then I think you can indeed take your chances and see to it that you have the profit table trade and optimization done to get the entry and exit right. Comparing it with its other peers, the S&P 500 is also having a similar trajectory. The price formation is not much different. Now, if we have to figure out which one is the strongest and which one is the weakest of both of these, then I think to some extent, just from the primary look of it, it seems that S&P 500 is a little bit stronger in its upward march, upward momentum compared to the Dow Jones Industrial Average. So for any buy trade, if you feel like you have confirmation in place, in that scenario, it will be better to prefer S&P 500 compared to the Dow Jones Industrial Average. But before we draw a final conclusion, we also have to consider the Nasdaq. And since Nasdaq had made this swing low, not far back, just a couple of hours back, 2 hours back, we have a much better case of going long in the Nasdaq even compared to the S&P 500, which has also looked solid. If we look at its prior price formation, it has also traded with with signs of bullishness. It did hold on to this low earlier in the day at 11,930, and from those levels, it had rebounded by around half a percentage point. But those gains proved short-lived, and now we have the Nasdaq again on the lower side. But as long as these levels of around 11,900 hold, and at least we have a couple of hours of consolidation going ahead, then I think we can indeed take our chances. And the possibility that we might see these US equity indices going on to make these highs in today's session itself above the prior high formed on the 1st of December. So that possibility is quite strong going ahead. So, guys and girls, this is my assessment looking at the current price formation. So, if you have any query or any idea, you can write to me in the feedback, and we can discuss the developments right now, right here, before I wrap up the session. Let's consider the commodity segment as well. Before that, we will be considering the developments in the European segment. For the European segment, the DAX has continued to make these lower lows, but the momentum is not that strong on the bearish side either. So it is more of a case of things going sideways. It is trading in a narrow range, and the price formation is not much different. But in terms of the strength and the ability to hold on to the prior gains, I think it is kind of lagging compared to the North American trading equity indices. So if you have the anticipation of a further rise happening in the equity segment, then I think much better case, much better prospects are appearing in the US equity indices, Nasdaq in particular, which is slightly more bullish compared to the other two equity indices for United States. Let's consider the case of FTSE 100. It is seemingly not subscribed, so I will have to go to CFD indices, and here it is. All right, so we have the formation of the GBP USD, where it is showing stronger tendency even compared to the other indices, equity indices, DAX, Dow Jones, Nasdaq, and S&P 500 in particular. Here we have the case of formation of the higher highs, and it is not really far off from the day's high either. So for any buy trade, I think as and when you get the confirmation after the start of the North American trading session and couple of hours of consolidation, if you see the US equity indices are also starting to gain the ground and starting to move higher, then it will be a better idea to go long in the FTSE 100 as it is showing the best price trajectory in terms of all other equity indices with the bullish tendency. If we look at its hourly chart, it is holding well above the last 24 as well as the 12-hour moving average price. So all these factors are making it a strong favorite for the buy trade. But now the price action is going to be driven more by the US equity indices, so pay attention there and see how things shape up, particularly after the start of the North American trading session, the US equity session, and in initial hour you will be getting a lot more clarity. And then if you see these levels holding, the current swing low levels holding, and a possibility of reversal starts to appear, maybe that will be the time to jump in and take the trade on the long side. So that's my take looking at the current price formation of these equity indices. And as it is the time to wrap up, I would also like to remind that for further coverage of the market developments, you can check out the Dukascopy Analytics page. We are also available on the Facebook. You can reach out to us there too. For trying out the newly released trading platform, the link has been included in the bio. So give it a try and let me know how all these resources work out for you. So that's all from my side, guys. I'll be back tomorrow with the fresh assessment of the price dynamics developing in the financial market. See you tomorrow. Thank you all. Goodbye.